Good morning, friends. I'm addressing the students. Uh, we experienced and still experience since the lockdown is extended for one more month for another 30 years. This is the era of COVID-19, which has paralyzed the entire world. Of course, the corona, one of the coronas is called COVID-19, which is a big pandemic, lethal viruses spreading across the world. There are few professions on the field. As you all of aware, that medicals, doctors, paramedicals, they were busy in active, they were active in treating the affected persons. They are in the field. Some of them have sacrificed their life. Some of them were affected. Some of them infected with virus and got treated and recovered. This is one profession. Second, municipal workers, conservancy workers who clean the city, who maintain the cleanliness of the entire civic. They are the people who are in the field. They were also, some of them were affected. And the third one is police force, who regulate the masses, especially the youngsters who are roaming on the street. And people, they were engaged in regulating law and order, traffic, though traffic is negligible. There was absolutely no traffic. However, they had to regulate it, and they were also involved in preventing crime. So these are the three professions. In addition, one more profession were active in the field during Corona lockdown. It is mass media. The lockdown has opened our eyes in many ways. We can be happy without roaming in the streets. Most of you are youngsters, being students, you prefer to go out on Saturdays and days, visiting students, visiting classmates or friends, visiting malls, and enjoy watching the movie in theaters, go to beach, park, everything. We can spend time without visiting friends. Now, in the Corona period, lockdown, the 2 months, solid 60 days, 60 plus days, we were hardly visiting these places. We didn't visit park, beach, restaurant, mall, theater. So these are the things we are able to practice. So without these, we will be mad. No, we cannot be. We can live happily without it. Despite this desired situation, none of us have become mad. But one thing, we are able to happily live without cinema, theater, park, beach. But none of us are left without news, information. Everybody received information, communication, information on the Corona spread, information on government steps taken to fight it out, information on other Corona-related events. All these are possible only by the journalists. In addition, we were able to witness so many interesting happenings, some sorrow, some sentiment, some comedy scenes also during these Corona lockdown period. But the aim of media or the press is only aim is to disseminate information to the masses. Information is the raw material, but the news is the finished product presented by the journalist and the media person. How do you, a journalist, make a news? The information is a raw material, as I said earlier. It is finished, it is shaped and made a news. That is a finished product. News can be done from anywhere, like incidents which we come across, events we notice, occurrences which happening around us. News can be partially culled out of information. See, first information or the news can be taken from the events, occurrences, or incident. Second, it can be partially culled out of the information. So the information will be there, but we will have to make it as a news. The second one, news can be discovered without information or even any event on a particular material. Yeah, it's like stones we see every day, but it will a sculptor will look at the stone not as a stone. His imagination will immediately be applied on the stone. He will look at a statue on the stone. This is how a journalist will look at every issue that is happening, or occurrence, or event, or incident, or accident, or whatever it is. And a musician, for a musician, the sound is sound for us, or a noise. Whereas for a musician, it will be like this is music. Even uh, sea wave, ocean waves, they will find some kind of music and put talam and all this. So any incident or occurrence will be made a newsman. So like a sculptor, like a musician, newsman is also make convert or make it or shape it any event as news. Three things are very important for a newsman journalist. I take it in a broader spectrum of journalists, and particularly with a focus on newsman. Newsman is a person who discloses information. So he is the backbone of the institution. Any news media, medium, is a singular or media is a plural. Media is the term which is being used nowadays. It is in a broader spectrum, which means earlier we had press means only printing press. Now, printing press newspapers, cable media like PTI, UNI, and so many other cable channels, visual media like all channel, and print media. A lot of online newspapers, magazines are there. In addition, now social media has come in the picture. Social media, every person in the democratic structure, because it's not confined to a particular section of people, anybody can become a journalist. So social media will be operated by citizen journalists. See, every citizen is a journalist. In fact, that is my focus on PhD. That is a theme of my thesis, PhD thesis. So journalism is penetrated to the down here. So every common man becomes a journalist. That is what I wanted to say. Future is for citizen journalism and social media. This is the thing. So, whoever it may be, whether it's visual media journalist or print media journalist or social media journalist, cable media journalist or audio media or even FM, radio, a lot of private channels or community radio, so many things are there. But for all the section of media people or journalists, three qualities are very much required. Number one, alertness. Number two, observation. Number three, clarity. Alertness, which helps you to grab anything. And observation is how you approach, your interpretation will be applied. Any event or anything will take place, and that will be picked up only when you are alert. Observation, that is an application through which you will make in your own way. And the third one is how do you express it? There should be clarity. No ambiguity should be there. There should be clarity. What you want to feel, what you want to express should be properly expressed. Expressed in your own style. Style is yours. But what you want to say should reflect in the output. That is what clarity. These three qualities are required for any journalist. Like Swami Vivekananda said, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Every journalist will always be arise, awake, and never stop till the news or the story or article or feature is complete. How a person should be alert, like an army man. He never sleeps. He is always 24 hours alert. Like an army man, a journalist must be. He should keep vigil. His eyes and ears should be sharper. And then, secondly, how he must observe things like a scientist. Scientists never spare small things. Uh, like anybody, we were seeing so many fruits falling from the tree from years together. But it was Sir Isaac Newton who was able to find something on the fruit which fell from the tree. So that is observation. Number three, clarity. And I am able to see a lot of people who are joining here. My usual practice is to call them, like Divya who came just now. Welcome to Divya and others who have already joined. And the third is like clarity is like clear sky. The clear sky will show the birds, clouds, and sun or stars accurately. These three qualities are required for any full-fledged journalist. Uh, Humbly, I must say, I just want to share some of my experiences, which would help you to understand. Personal experience will always help. No, instead of reading something else and expressing it. I just believe in sharing the experience which I come across in my career. I would like to share some of my experiences. First, about sometimes during 1985, I happened to attend an ordinary press conference. You may be aware a lot of press conferences are being held, and you may be watching the TV or any, you may even read in the newspaper, like the Prime Minister addressing, President addressing, or Vice Finance Minister addressing, Chief Minister addressing, Health Secretary addressing. So these are all press conferences, I need not tell you, but terrorism press conference organized by even a small organization. I have to cover it in the central station. Now it is named as Dr. Avichi Central Railway Station. Central station, there is some station association. They wanted to. Yeah, I was assigned to cover a small press conference organized in Central Railway Station by some of the organizations. First, one organization is called Station Masters Association. Normally, association meeting will be held to share some information or some demand or whatever. Like that, that Station Masters Association called some of our reporters. In those days, we had hardly 10, 6, 12 reporters, not more than that. 6 Tamil reporters, 6 English reporters, of which evening and morning papers for that. We were very limited newspapers. In those days, there was no private channels of that. It was not there. Government media, they all India radio and Doordarshan, but they hardly attend. They don't talk small things. They don't give highlight the small things. And we used to cover these small events like press conference. Because the organized by Station Master Association, as I told you, they just called all the reporters and issued a press release. No press release, what all they want to share or disclose or reveal it, that will be printed in the press release and handed over. It was nothing actually. They are organizing some conference later. They were informing what is the purpose of the conference, who overall will participate, how many days it will be organized, done, and what are all the resolutions, what are the resolutions to be adopted at the conference. So many things are there. See, these things, they need not invite people, reporters to reveal. They can simply print it in a press release, put it in a cover and send across to all the media, newspapers. Those days, not media, only newspapers. These could have been done. Instead of calling them, they could have done it. But we were all surprised, taken aback. Why should they invite unnecessarily? This was nothing but a waste of time. See, we had to spend 2 to 3 hours on that. So We were all fed up with that. We collected all materials. Uh, Interestingly, we had coffee, nice coffee and all this. But for coffee, nothing was available there. So we hardly 12, at the time, if I remember, hardly 10 reporters were there. Most of them, almost all of them have left the place, Central Railway Station, Central Station. Now, MGR Railway Station, something like that. Okay. All of them have left. Since I didn't have any vehicle, uh, uh, I used to travel by bus in those days, and we were given free passes. Different. I was about to leave the station to catch my bus to return office, come back to office to find their story. So nothing much. So I was fed up with what the news of covering this. Nothing. We didn't get a good news today. Now story is broken today. See, I felt boring. But when I was coming out of the station, I saw some policemen with sniffer dogs. Dogs, sniffer dogs. This was a strange thing for me. Something came to my mind. Tamil சொல்லுவேன் bulb எரிஞ்சுது. So suddenly, what's happening? In those days, I remain, mind you, this 1985. Those days, hardly policemen will be rushing, hardly sniffer dogs visit those places, unless major murder takes place. Those days, such things hardly happen. So I saw two policemen with two dogs, sniffer dogs, entering the police station. I mean, central station. From police station to central station. Right? Something struck my mind. What's happening? This was unusual. So strange. So I was waiting. What's happening? I just returned. I didn't go to the station. I came back. I just again entered into the station. Suddenly, these two police cops. Cops is a language created by journalists. I want to start, I may be deviating, of course. Certain words created by journalists. Like for journalists, they call it journal or scribe. For policemen, cops. See, these are all the words created the language. We developed the language, created. Right. Two cops with sniffer dogs, they approached some of the police officers who were in the station. They were talking to them. And suddenly, a group of policemen came there, assembly, and left the place and moving towards a station, train, which was about to leave the station. It was Nilgiri Express, Blue Mountain Express or Nilgiri Express. It is from Chennai to Metropolitan, leading to Nilgiri, Ooty, right? It was about to leave around 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., if I am correct. So suddenly these policemen, batch by batch, they went each and every compartment. It took nearly half an hour to 1 hour, nearly 45 minutes. Group of policemen just entered the railway train, which was about to leave. And they made all the arrangements. Some police officers were standing. Incidentally, one of the police officers is known to me. I started him. I asked him, "Sir, what's happening here? Just pull me into this place. Please be silent. Something is going to happen. I'll disclose everything to you. Please be here. Don't ask anything." So I didn't open my pen, take my pen or paper. Just kept it in my bag. Okay, fine. I was simply observing. First, alert. Second, waiting. So after 45 minutes or 50 minutes, all the cops again came back from the station, assembled the place, discussed with the police officer, higher officer, and slowly, one by one, they were leaving. Then I was waiting for the police officer, came to me and come to my room, his chamber, he says. So I went to the railway police station where the police officer, his chamber was there. I just went there. So what's happening? Okay. I'll just tell you a very interesting thing. We received a letter saying that the Nilgiris Express will be bombarded. We have planted some time bomb. I received a letter. See this. He showed me. In Tamil, they called it anonymous letter called Motta Kadidasi. Actually, Motta Kadidasi. There was no from whom, nothing was there. Chennai Nilgiri Expressil Vedigundu Vedikku. Avladha. That's all. Nothing more than that. I just saw. I read it completely. I just noted in my notebook. Small piece of a diary. Small diary. So collected everything. He said, "Don't ask for that. Some mischievous people are planning. We are investigating. Soon we'll be catching those culprits." Right. In the meantime, very interesting is this hawk or threat or whatever was not revealed to any common man. There was no announcement at the railway station. Suddenly they tell no, instead of Nilgiris Express will start a little late, half an hour delayed. It is delayed due to bomb is planted. If they announced like that, people would have been in panic situation. So they wanted to avoid any panic situation. Silently investigated toward the railway station and train also, particular. And nothing was there. No bomb was there. Nothing happened. It was here. Some mischievous guys did it, and the train left the station as per the scheduled time. That's very important. So none of the passengers were aware of this. None of those passengers waiting in the railway station was aware of it. None of the common men was aware of it. There were only few police officers. Only one scribe is aware of it. Needless to say, who is the guy? I just recorded everything in my mind, rushed back to office, told my music, sir, this is an exclusive story. Exclusive. Nobody got it. Only the person. I'm the only person who received or collected the information. Came back to office, filed the story, they put it in the page. Central Centralil Purapatta Railil Vedigundu BB. This was the title, something like that. Other journalists who joined with me for the press conference could not get it. I was able to alert. I was so alert. Something struck. It may depend on luck. Had I left a little earlier, I would have missed it. Or if had I not noticed it, I would have missed it. I would have missed the story. But I was able to break the story, expose the story because of the alertness. This is what I wanted to say, alertness and alert. Number two, observation. I would like to share another story which is close to my heart. This is very, very interesting. I feel proud of it. What do you call in Tamil we say Takpugachiya. What is it? Takperami. No, it's not like that, but I feel so proud of a story which I break. This is a proactive story, of course. I used to take classes, effective communication, journalism classes through academic staff college, which imparts training or orientation to the newly recruited lecturers. I don't know whether it does it. I don't know. Does it exist now, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Orientation class.
Yes,
orientation
yes, it
classes.
Yes, sir.
Probably I'm not attending. They have not taken my class for a few years. Because
Always
I used to take classes. Not it's like I don't say it is class. It is a distraction. It's imparting our experience. That's all. Nothing more than that. I used to take meet the newly recruited lecturers. So once, say about 10 years ago, I was taking a class on effective communication. My practice is to know about the participants' background. So I was so keen on it, asking one of the gray-haired person. I mean, all of them not only one person is with gray hair, salt and pepper. And most of other guys were youngsters. How did that be? So they were all newly recruited after completing their postgraduate and MPhil PhD also thing. they are newly recruited for government or government-aided colleges as lecturers. Right. Only one fellow, I mean, sorry, not fellow, one person seemed to be a little older, about 40, with a soft paper. I just was with a little surprise, I just asked his name. He said, I'm Dr. V. Kadiresan. Interesting. Okay, fine, sir. Tell me your that. So he said, I was actually due to poverty, my native place is, he said, was telling me, his native place is Tirunelveli, some down village. Due to poverty, he left the place and joined army to earn money. He wants, being a breadwinner, he has to earn something for his family. I mean, parents. At that time, he was not married. So he joined army at the age of 18. After completing or passing out plus 2 or something like that. He didn't pursue it. He was unable to pursue his higher studies due to poverty. Joined army. He was posted in various places. Then finally, being a driver, he knew driving and applying the price of everything. So properly, he was posted as driver for the director of DRDL, Defense Research Development Laboratory. This enough, okay. He was working as driver in the Defense Research Development Laboratory in Hyderabad. He was a driver for the director. He knew, he knows Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, so many languages. Being an army person, naturally, he will be knowing all this. So he was driving for a director who happens to be from Tamil Nadu. One day, the director, the then director asked, "What's your name? आपका नाम क्या है?" He asked, "Sir, मेरा नाम कदिरेश है." The director, "தமிழா பாணி?" "ஆமா சார்." "எந்த ஊரு?" "திருநெல்வேலி." "அப்படியா? என்ன படிச்சிருக்க?" I'm just imagining, with imagination, I'm just repeating it. என்ன படிச்சிருக்க? ஐயா நான் வந்து ப்ளஸ் டூக்கு மேல தாண்டலைங்க, படிப்பு இல்லை, நமக்கு பண கஷ்டத்துல ஐயா. ஓகே, இதான் நீ டிரைவரா இருக்க, மெல்ல மெல்ல படி, மேல படி, டிகிரி, போஸ்ட் கிராஜுவேட், முடிஞ்சா டாக்டரேட் வரணும் நீ, ரைட்? ஐயா ஓகே ஐயா. He took this advice from the director. The director motivated the guy, Kadiresan, and after obtaining VRS from the army, he was working for some private companies for a small payment down south. Continued his studies, completed BA, MA, BEd, MPhil, and PhD. Everything part-time, correspondence course or distance education, whatever it may be. It took nearly more than 10 years. He completed everything and worked for some small schools and colleges. Later, with his qualification, he obtained the certificate, the degree, and joined as lecturer in Arinyar Anna Government College, Attur, Salem district. No need to guess who is the director who motivated him. So just Abdul Kalam motivated the driver. And later, after he was posted as professor, Dr. Kalam, when he was attending a college in Madurai, invited Kadiresan and introduced on the dais, he is no more my driver, he was my friend. What a great state, what a great man, Dr. Kalam. And Dr. Kadiresan was overwhelmed by the way he introduced him. He was so moved. And in fact, I didn't want that. But Kadiresan told me Dr. Kalam wanted to visit his house in Tirunelveli. I don't know whether he did it, but he was so moved with that incident. So driver is motivated by Dr. Kalam. This was a very interesting story. Next, come to my point. Had I not asked anything, had I not observed anything from that Mr. Kadiresan, who happened to be my just 2 hours, 3 hours class student. He was not a permanent student. See, that was that session I went on for 3 hours in the morning. That's all. I start by 10:30 or so. by 12:30 also or 1:30 it will be over. That's all. I don't have any contact with him. Yes, kudos to Kyle. Yeah, fine. So had I not asked anything about him, I was not so curious. Another thing, curiosity. One should, any journalist should have curiosity. Had I not, didn't show much interest. Okay, one of the persons who attended the orientation course. That's all finished. Had I skipped like that, I would not got a good story. And another interesting thing which I will not mark here. I happened when I was in Delhi. I had a very good contact with all foreign journalists. I was speaking to my friend from Japan, uh, Shimizu. His name is special correspondent of Kyoto News, the Japanese news agency. Shimizu is still in touch with me. He is now in Tokyo. I just was speaking to him about federation. He wanted to do some story for Japan magazine newspapers. So he asked me to introduce federation. I took Shimizu to Madurai and then Tirunelveli and introduced him. They had interaction and Shimizu interviewed federation, made the story that was carried in almost all the about 10 to 12 Japanese newspapers. He sent me the clippings. I copied it and sent the original to Federation later. So Federation single minute, I mean, in short period, he became worldwide known a lecturer, motivated by Dr. Kala. So this was one interesting thing, so close to my heart. Clarity of expression depends on one every individual's skill. It depends on everybody's individual skill. So how you present the heading? I just come to you in a broader spectrum. If you want your story to be read, or if you want your story to be listened, or if you want your story or news to be watched by your audience or readers or viewers, first thing is heading for the newspaper, breaking or scroll or sticker. In visual medium, they call it sticker and scroll. Sticker means breaking the news. Breaking the news. Scroll means little more information about the story which is broken, right? And then final story. So when you say something breaking news, flash news, everybody will be curious to attend it. So something happens. PM delivers, meets so and so. It's a breaking news. PM meets a rickshawala in Chennai, Adayar. It's a news. This is what first. Second, where, when, how, what has happened. And the third, elaborating the whole story. That's how you do it. If you do not break the story in an interesting way, if you are not able to express the content, if you are not able to reflect the content in the heading, you will not able to draw the people's attention. So, for which I just want to show one. Needless to say, what is the first picture? Who is he? Everybody knows Subramania Bharati, right? National Revolution. Second one is India. I just wanted to say, show the easiest thing. So, no need to scratch your head. So, with a few things. First, in the first picture, only two eyes and mustache. That's stop. Everybody understand this is Mahatma Bharati. Second, one cap and one hat and they call it bush gulla.
Yes.
It's like bush, you know, bush gulla and the goggles, black sunglasses. So this shows Avichi. Okay, fine. Earlier I showed one picture, curling hair, Abdul Kalam. So this itself indicates something. Immediately you come to a conclusion. Oh, he's going to show something on Subramania Bharati, something on N.G. Ramachandran, something on Dr. Abdul Kalam. So curiosity is kindled with this limited words in the news, words in the expression, words in the strokes, in the picture portrait. Next piece. So with a few words, few little resource, you have to draw the attention of your reader or your viewer or your listener, even radio also. So these things is very important. This that you should have the clear idea what you have framed in your mind. You have collected some out of your alertness, you notice something. Out of your observation, you have collected information. Then the third one is expressed. It should be properly expressed. When you express it, you make it clear what you want to say. This is what I wanted to say. Kamba Ramayanathula, Ramar தன்னுடைய சீதை காணாமல் போன சீதையை கண்டுபிடிக்கணும்னு ஆஞ்சநேயர் அனுப்பிச்சார். This everybody knows it, right? ஆஞ்சநேயர் இலங்கைக்கு போனார், ஸ்ரீலங்கா. Where he found it is where Sita was imprisoned. அந்த காலத்துல imprisonment ஜெயில் கிடையாது, புழல் மாதிரி கிடையாது. அசோகவரத்துல she was imprisoned by Ravana. These are the story. At last, after reaching Sri Lanka, Anjaneer was able to find where Sita was imprisoned. கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டார். கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டு அடையாளமா நீ உன்னை போயிட்டு வந்த ஒரு ப்ரூஃப் வேணும் இல்லையா? ஸோ லைக் இந்த காலமாக தான் ஒரு டாக்குமெண்ட் இப்போ போய் கையெழுத்து வாங்கிட்டு போடுவாங்க இல்லையா? அது மாதிரி என்ன பண்ணாங்க, நீ சீதாதேவி கணையாழின்னா மோதிரம், கணையாழி தமிழ். Anjaneya collected the ring from Sita and came back. Anjaneya திரும்பி வந்து ராமர்கிட்ட கம்பராமாயணத்துல சொல்றாரு. எப்படி சொன்னா, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வேர்டு கண்டே சீதையை கற்பினுக்கணையை அப்படின்னு சொல்றாரு. இதான் மூணு வேர்டு. I'm not elaborating the entire point. It will be a Tamil lecture ஆயிடும். கண்டேன் is the first word. Second is சீதையை கற்பினுக்கணையை. அது என்ன அர்த்தம்? ராமா was very curious, anxious. Oh, and he was in anxiety. ராமபிரான் வந்து எப்போ சீதையை பார்த்தானா இல்லையா? ஆஞ்சநேயர் வந்த உடனே முதல் வேலை என்ன ராமர் எதிர்பார்த்தாரு, என்ன பார்த்தியா இல்லையா? அதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆன்சர், பார்த்தேன். அப்புறம் சீதை கண்ணால பார்த்தேன். கண்ணால பார்த்து யாரும் சொல்லி கேட்கல. கண்டேன் சீதையை கண்களால் கற்பிக்கணும், கற்பினை கணங்கள். அவர் she was undisturbed. ஸோ நத்திங் ஹேப்பன். ராமருக்கு ஒரு திருப்தி வருது. அப்போ கண்டேங்கிற வேர்டு இஸ் a verb, adjective that was expressed past. Second, because here ராமபிரான் ஒரு ஆடியன்ஸ், ரீடர் மாதிரி. ஆஞ்சநேயர் இஸ் லைக் ரிப்போர்ட்டர். ரிப்போர்ட்டர் என்ன பண்ணணும், ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நியூஸ் மேன் ஆர் ஜேர்னலிஸ்ட் எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் இட் ப்ராப்பர்லி. என்ன வேணும் உனக்கு? கண்டே பார்த்துட்டேன், கண்ணால பார்த்தேன். இது மாதிரி ஒன்னும் கேள்வி கேட்காம நேரடியா கண்டே கண்களால் சீதையை கற்பினை கணக்கே தீர்வுச்சு. அதுக்கப்புறம் மற்றது எதுவுமே தேவையில்லை. ஸோ வித் லிட்டில் வேர்ட் a reader or readers or listeners or viewers, they must immediately catch it. They must immediately understand. The journalists must draw their attention with little words. So we need the clarity, which we have to do it. An elderly woman injured in the hospital. This happened in years, sometime back, I say about 9 years ago. She was injured in the hospital, so when she approached others and our staff, they asked for a call. They called for an ambulance. Interesting thing. How we are in that captured. Anyways, next piece. Few clippings are which has happened. How the heading will attract you. Safety meeting was organized on a foreign country, US mostly. It happened sometime about last year. When the arrangements were going on, one fellow was injured in a small, very, very petty, small accident, mishap, in which he was injured. So safety meeting ends in an accident. It is interesting. What was the safety meeting arranged? To prevent any accident. But it happened to come across an accident. There is an interesting thing. This is a little bigger story to understand it. Attorney means Alton is a place in US. Attorney means lawyer. Lawyer accidentally sues himself. தனக்கு தானே வழக்கு போட்டுட்டாரு. எப்படின்னா, the lawyer was having so many companies. Obviously, he was partner, one of the partners of few companies. அந்த ஒரு கம்பெனியில் இன்னொரு பார்ட்னர் மேல ஒரு கேஸ் வந்தபோது this they approached this lawyer without knowing that he is one among the partners, came back to him and asked to file a suit. He filed a suit against the company of which he himself is a partner. So he was summoned to the court. Interestingly, lawyer sued himself. இது ஒரு தலைக்கு தானே. So heading must be very catchy. Next please. It's very interesting. Cows lose their jobs. Next previous one. Okay, the cows lose because production of milk was less and the cows could not produce more milk, so they lost job. They were inactive. They may go to slaughterhouse later, but instead of telling this, cows lose their job. Interesting heading, no? Like this one. Next. Yeah, these you must understand. Now, please previous. How a clarity should be. Clarity, in the reality, the person who is running was chased away, the person with a knife. The second person was about to kill him. This is the reality. But the TV cameraman focused in a different way, as if the first person is trying to kill the second. So there should be clarity, no ambiguity on people. See, the role of media is not just to entertain alone. One photograph, just one simple photograph, stopped the war waged against Vietnam by the superpower United States of America. Way back about 50 years ago, around it is. You know, I hope most of you have seen this picture. A small girl, nude because her clothes were burnt, and he was also injured in the fire. The village was bombarded by US forces. In which her entire family, village is destroyed. Most of the children have had to flee from the place, and this girl's clothes were burning, and she was running and got injured and crying. This pathetic scene was pictured by Nick Wood. He is an Asian associate professor. The girl name is Kim Park. Kim Park was the girl from the Vietnam village. This picture was captured by the photographer Nick Wood and published in various newspapers in US, and that shows the United States that had shaken the United States government to stop the war. And many people have written like that. What for the bloody useless war, unwarranted war? Please close it. That's what everybody expressed here. And finally, the president of the US, Richard Nixon, stopped the war. Just one photograph made to stop the war. Next, please. Another photo, please. Next. This is another interesting thing which happened in our own place, about 40 kilometers from Chennai. You know, Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated. When he was assassinated, nobody put in the place leading Congress leader G.K. Mukkunar and the former minister, Union Minister J.P. Natarajan. They were all there. They could not identify which body is Rajiv Gandhi's body. There were about 10 bodies were there. Of which one belongs to Rajiv Gandhi? Which one is Rajiv Gandhi? They must pick up because the senior leader, former Prime Minister of India. So nobody could identify. Interestingly, the photographer was junior brigadier, Mr. Parthasarathy, M.A. Parthasarathy, who took the same picture, who attended the press conference just half an hour before the happening, the gruesome incident took place. Just half an hour or 1 hour before that, he was addressing a newspaper press people in Chennai airport, where he took a picture of Rajiv Gandhi, where Rajiv Gandhi was wearing a canvas shoe. The same shoe, with the same shoe, a corpse or a dead body was lying on the floor with a smashed face. So that shoe identified the body belongs to Rajiv Gandhi. They collected it, they picked Recently, they put it in a cover sheet and gave royal honor to departed leader. But for this shoot, which was taken by the small photographer from Chennai, he could have not been identified which body. But they might have they found they might find difficult identifying the person. So that helped doing the photographers to help to investigate.
Do you agree that today's journalism has full freedom of expression and speech? Full
Freedom of
freedom of
expression.
expression and speech.
Expression of freedom, it depends. How do we express? We have every right. In India, luckily, we have a democratic system in which no feudal structure. So will be able to express our own views. But how do we express? That is very important. Instead of, I must frankly say, government is a big force. Whether whichever party is or whichever party rules the government or nation or state. But we have the duty, the journalists have the duty to express in a proper way. That is what, see, you have done a mistake. It's a harsh. I feel you have done a mistake. It may not be right. I think it's an opportunity. I think we try to bring it to your kind notice. Something has happened. So kindly do the needful and try to rectify. But that will help you. That will be helpful to the past. Something expression, the way of expression we need it. And I feel in the Indian system we have enormous press freedom. I have no doubt about it. But for the press freedom, we could not have thrown out the government which promulgated emergency during 1975. So it's still our Indian system, Indian democratic system provides press freedom. Yeah, please next.
Sir, next question like we have from Dr. Sunny Toklat. Print media face a great danger nowadays, and it is taken up by electronic social media. So it is reported that many newspapers, including Times of India and Deccan Chronicle, has already stopped in its service in South India. How this field you think will be sustained later on, sir? This is a question.
I don't think Times of India stopped. I don't think Deccan Chronicle has stopped with Chennai edition. Of course,
Okay.
print media is facing a problem because for many reasons nowadays uh, we don't have camera, we don't carry camera, we don't carry calendar, we don't carry calculator, we don't even anything, we don't have much devices which use for our day to day. We carry mobile. Luckily even my system, laptop system doesn't work out. It doesn't work properly, so I had to depend on the mobile. So everything uh, become tiny and bad. Nowadays, people watch TV, movie, send email, talk to people, take a picture, calculate. Everything is done through mobile. So text, it is a diamond evolution. See, in those days, we had Terputu drama, stage drama. It was overwhelming. It's an overwhelming response. But when the film came, all these things slowly vanished. Now, still, here and there you can see dramas, Tirupati also, but not much. So, cinema has taken. Then serial. Now, web series have come. So, things are changing. Like that, newspapers are slowly becoming, because you can't carry the newspapers. Instead, you can carry a mobile phone. That's it. So, convenience is important. Convenience. You can't take all the newspapers and bunch of newspapers. You can simply carry in the mobile. Another point is nowadays we have taken a decision of reducing cutting trees. So to make papers, we have to cut the trees. So that is being we want to reduce ecologists, environmentalists. stressing on that. So slowly papers are reducing. Even the airport also earlier print paper instead of ticket print, we just go and show the mobile railway station, wherever, even theater also. You don't take a printout ticket. So that so naturally this is an evolution. Newspapers slowly been sales and subscription. I mean that is why even newspapers take a dimension, a new dimension of web papers, e-magazines, online newspapers. So that is this is future is for
Okay.
online or
Like, one news is projected in different ways in different journals. Why?
yes.
One news has been, taken in a different way, projected in a different angle in different news. Why this happens, he's asking.
My mother used to prepare sambar in a different way. My wife prepares in a different way. My daughter's recipe is something different. But all these things are interesting to taste. Similarly, everybody has his own individual capacity. So in his own style, he presents. And his ambition, he wants to highlight something. That's how they do it. So it is individual taste. But interestingly, a reader will read all these things. So he picks up whatever he wants. But every individual has his own style of expressing things. That's why headings will differ, presentation will differ. Ultimate content will be the same. Same purple, puli, a kai, everything will be in the same sambar, whether it is prepared by my mother, my wife, or my daughter. So the
Yes, the
ingredients are
difference is
same.
there. Yes,
Recipe
yes.
is different.
How can we connect journalism and English in many ways? Sir?
Uh, uh, this is very, very broad. I have to answer it in a broad way. English what do you call one interesting thing? Former State Minister Mr. Panditi Ramachandran attended a seminar way back in the 80s. Happened to attend, in which he said one English professor, I'm not able to recall the name of the professor, Oxford English professor, he said, English is no more language of British. It is a language of world. The world has adopted English as its own language. English belongs to you and me. It belongs to Tamilian. It belongs to Indian. It belongs to British. It belongs to American. So the English language is very interesting thing. It adopts every language. So it spreads all throughout the country. Whatever you want to say, you will find it easy to express. So English language plays a major role in journalism. Needless, you need not master the language. You need not become necessary to become like William Shakespeare. Just simple communicative language is enough. For which English, one of the comfortable languages. I think English is the best language to communicate. So I feel English journalism like the husband of it.
Which foreign newspaper would you suggest for a good reading, to improve language knowledge and skills? Sir? Foreign newspaper which you.
For foreign newspapers, how many people are there? Time magazine.
Okay.
New York Times. Some of the newspapers are available in online. You need not buy anything. Indian New York Times or foreign newspapers better. But British English will be easy for us because we have been ruled by it. So that language,
Yes.
I don't know about next generation. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say, but I'm comfortable with British English. And next generation may be comfortable with American English because most of them are learning computer knowledge through American English. I cannot say. However, US newspapers are little. We can learn more on that. In India,
Okay.
I would suggest the Hindu best language.
Yes.
English.
Yes. The best one,
And Times
standard
of
one.
Indian Express is the best newspaper. Indian Express, how to understand the news and how to express the news, the presentation. The professional skill we can learn from Indian Express. But
Okay.
the language is concerned, I must tell one interesting. Say in an earthquake, about 300 people are dead. This is a news.
Okay.
Hindu will carry more than 300 feared dead in the asteroid. This is what Hindu will carry. But express will tell over 300 killed. Yeah, straight. So language perfection will be in Hindu. Feared dead is the word they use. You mean
Yes, as
the
a joke.
serious information is taken as a comedy joke. Some
Yes.
people even make comedy news as serious. If anybody says earthquake will in a social media, jokingly mention that something happened, people started believing. People start believing. So both vice versa. But my humble suggestion is don't depend on social media. Social medium is a similar media as a whole. Social media has become a fashion. So it has to take the right, it has to go in the right direction. It will take time to go in the right direction. Until it is properly regulated, no proper or authentic information will appear. A print medium has a responsibility. Visual medium has a responsibility. Web medium, they have a responsibility. Or even cable medium or any other way, even radios also. But social medium, resource, who generates the news, nobody knows. That is why the responsibility does not lie on anybody. So it has to be properly regulated. If it is regulated, the concept of citizen journalism will be very successful. It will be successful, and social media will find its own place in the media world. So until then, we have to bear with. We have to endure, and that may be a little hard for us. We have to bear.
Can Narada in the mythology can be
Ah,
called as a
mhm.
journalist?
He's the first journalist. He's the first reporter.
So that's been asked
Who
by
is the
this
first
Kyle Willis,
reporter?
sir.
Kayalvedi, my kudos to your imagination. Narada is the first person who carries information from one loka, Brahma loka to Vaikuntha to Kailasa, and Kailasa to Earth. So he is the best newsman and best short and writer, stenographer is Vinayaka. When Vyasa was telling his verses on Mahabharata, when he was writing on that, so it was Vinayaka who was quoting, who was writing and who wrote the entire epic. So he became the best stenographer. So many things are there. Narada is the first
Yes.
journalist, right? நாரதர் கலகம் நல்லதில் முடியும்னு சொல்லுவாங்க
ஆமா ஆமா
இல்லையா?
பெரிய ப்ராப்ளம். எஸ் சார்.
நாரதர் கலகம் மாதிரி ஜேர்னலிஸ்ட் ஏதாவது ஒரு சென்சேஷனல் கிரியேட் பண்ணி நியூஸ் கிரியேட் பண்ணா தட் வில் ஃபைண்ட் ப்ராப்பர் ஏதாவது ஒரு நல்ல காரியமா தட் வில் தேர் வில் பி ரெசல்யூஷன் ஃபார் எனி இஷ்யூ. ஏதாவது ஒரு பரபரப்பா அன்லஸ் நிர்பயா ஸ்டோரி இஸ் ஒன்லி ஆக்டர் கேரி அவுட் நியூஸ் பேப்பர்ஸ் கேரிட் நிர்பயா ஸ்டோரி ஆக்ட் எல்லாம் ஸ்ட்ரென்தன் ஆகிருக்காது இல்லையா? ப்ரொடெக்ஷன் ஃபார் விமன் நிறைய போஸ்கோ ஸ்டோரி ஆக்ட் வந்தது காரணம் என்ன? பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் த நியூஸ். ஸோ வி மேக் சென்சேஷன் அண்ட் அல்டிமேட்லி ப்ராப்பர் திங்ஸ் ப்ராப்பர் ஆக்ஷன் டேக்கன், ரைட்? நாரதர் கலகம் தான்.
So on behalf of the management, principal and the staff members of our college, I extend my thanks to you, sir, for this wonderful session. You have been so kind enough to answer most of the questions, and your full presentation was crystal clear to know the nuances of journalism. It was indeed an eye-opener for the new generation who are aspiring to go into journalism, sir. How to look and how to go about journalism. Thank you so much, sir. We are looking forward to invite you to our college
Yes,
when
sir.
these lockdowns get settled, sir. Please do come to our college
Thank you so
and
much.
enlighten our students too on
Sure.
a personal basis, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
I love
Thank
to visit your college and meet your students and get enlightened through that question. Oh, I have given a convincing answer for those who posed.
Yes, sir. It
Thank
was
you. I
very
must
nice.
thank
Very happy.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much.
I sincerely thank all of you.